Nothing in my life changed because I worked harder. Everything changed when I decided to stop being who I was. In the beginning of my journey, it took me 90 days, not to just upgrade my habits, but to upgrade my entire identity. And we all should know by now that once your identity shifts, your whole world has no other option but to follow. In this video, I'm breaking down the exact identity shifts that change my confidence, my peace, my income, and the way that I move in this world. Before we get into these shifts, I want you to know that you are perfect the way you are right now. You're not broken, you're not lazy, you're not unlucky, and you're not stuck, okay? You are just operating from an old concept of yourself. And Miss Girl, that is affecting everything. Your relationships, your income, how people view you, how you're respected, everything. And when people want better, they think that they need to do more. They try to change their life by being the same person. And let me tell you, it is way harder to do that. There's this line that I got off a podcast that I heard it before, but the way Myron Golden broke it down, everything started to click. He literally said that it is easier to 10 times your life than it is to 2 times your life. And then I heard other people who are highly successful in this world, like billionaires, millionaires, a lot of them say the same thing. I just could not understand, like, what do you mean it's easier to 10 times your life than 2x your life? Myron took us all the way back to the Bible where God said, be, do, have. A lot of people think that they need to do more and they're skipping over the most important part, being more, okay? When you become more, you automatically do more, which ultimately leaves you to have more. So it's not that you have to work harder for whatever it is that you want. Maybe you want to become a wife. Maybe you want to become a millionaire. Maybe you just want to change your life completely. You don't have to do more. You just have to become more. You need to do the identity shift. And when he really broke this down, the 10x theory really made sense because you as this person who you are right now today, you are already doing the best you can with what you have, with all the knowledge that you have, all the skill that you have. You are already doing the best you can. So if this is the best and you keep trying to do more, of course it's not going to work for you. So of course it's going to be harder for you to even 2x your life. But instead of being who you are right now and trying to live a better life, how about you become the person that has the better life? When you become somebody completely, because it's way easier to just do the identity shift and completely become somebody new and attract the lifestyle that you want with that new identity than to stay put in the same identity wanting to be rich. You have the same habits, you have the same beliefs, you have the same mindsets that you did yesterday and last month and last year, but you want this whole new life. The math isn't math, sis. So I'm going to share with you the identity shift that changed everything for me in just 90 days. Shift number 1, I talked about this on my Instagram and you girls really loved it. Stop trying and start deciding. The word trying is just, it keeps you too flexible. Maybe I might do it. Maybe I might not. Oh, I'm trying to quit this habit. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Oh, I'm trying to make more money in my business. I don't know. We'll see. It is way too flexible, okay? And it is confusing God and the universe on what you really want. Deciding makes it inevitable, okay? Like, oh, I'm deciding to drop this old habit. Oh, I'm deciding to show up as this new version of myself. I'm deciding that this is who I want to be and I no longer want to be that old version of myself. Once you decide, baby, it's inevitable. It's set in stone and that's who you are, okay? The identity shift doesn't take years and months. It starts the moment that you decide. If you wake up tomorrow morning and you decide that you are no longer putting up with this BS or you are no longer tolerating something, that's your new identity, baby. You are no longer tolerating that. So it starts the moment that you decide. So take trying out of your vocabulary all the way, okay? And stand on business with yourself. If this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing. Because even if it doesn't work out the way that you planned, guess what? You still did it. You didn't try. You still did it. You still did it, even though it didn't plan out the way that, you had thought it would plan out. You still get credit for doing a damn thing, okay? So let's cut out the I'm trying to be consistent, I'm trying to heal, I'm trying to level up, and instead, oh, I'm the woman who keeps my word. I am disciplined. I am consistent. I am leveling up my life. Because the version of you that tries is the version of you that negotiates. And I'm not negotiating a damn thing about any of my goals or any of my desires. So the version of you that actually decides doesn't negotiate. Identity shift number 2 is to go from over-explaining to self-trust. When you are over-explaining, that instantly shows people that you don't even trust yourself, that you don't even believe the words coming out of your own mouth, Miss Girl. Over explaining yourself is rooted in self-doubt, and it doesn't matter if you're over explaining yourself in a relationship, at a job, to a friend. It doesn't matter. Confident women move quietly. They say it with their chest and they put a period at the end of their sentence, and that's it. That old identity of you over explaining is because you need validation. It's because you need to explain your choices. It's because you're trying to prove your worth. But we're not doing that anymore, okay? We trust ourselves. We trust our gut. We trust our intuition. And honestly, what's for us is for us, and we don't need the world to understand. If I said I'm not doing this or this doesn't work for me, that's just what it is. I don't need everybody to understand my path, my plan, or my vision. And trust me, sister, when you trust yourself, you'll stop auditioning for approval. You'll stop caring what other people think about you. If you have an issue with, you care too much about what others think of you, you care about how they view you, it's because you don't trust yourself, okay? And that is a whole another topic. Self-trust and self-love is a whole nother topic, but everybody should have that, especially every woman, because God gave us something special called the woman's intuition, and it is so powerful, especially when you practice it. And it's like a muscle. It gets stronger the more that you use it. And there has been so many situations where I knew that what I was doing and I trusted what I was doing, but everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. If you're new here to this channel, I used to be in nursing school. I dropped out of nursing school my last year to follow my business, and this was in 2019 before having a business, being online, all of that was even popular. And everybody looked at me like I was crazy. Even some of my friends were being distant with me, like, this girl is going through a midlife crisis, or maybe she just is losing her mind. But, we're all in school, so we're going to stay over here and let her figure it out. And I'm glad I stood on business. I'm glad I didn't let them dictate my life or feel like that I need to over explain to them why I was doing what I was doing. And now most of those friends, they're old friends though. Most of those old friends, yes, they got that degree and all of that stuff, but now they're trying to do what I'm doing, what I was doing in 2019. And it's just so crazy because it was my vision for me and it was for nobody else to understand. And now they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. I knew you were always meant to be great. When at one point they didn't even understand my vision, and that's okay. When you start to trust yourself more, Miss Girl, you're gonna have less anxiety, clear decisions, and stronger boundaries. Like if God gives me an idea or God gives me an answer to a problem that I'm trying to solve, I don't need outside validation, okay? I don't need to go to this person and be like, oh, do you think I should do this or that? I mean, look, it's great to get opinions sometimes, but I take it with a grain of salt, okay? At the end of the day, I know exactly what it is that I need to do, and I trust myself on that. And that doesn't only make moving through life so much easier, but it also builds up your confidence as a woman. Your confidence to set boundaries and say, you know what? I'm not dealing with that. Your confidence to say, you know what? I want to become the best version of myself, so that's what I'm going to do. I want to pick up this new habit. I want to pick up this new hobby. I want to change careers completely. You trusting yourself and you trusting that intuition is going to give you the confidence you need to move through life. Shift number 3 is to move from busy to intentional. I know being busy seems so productive, but let's be real, Miss Girl, it's avoidance. And you could be avoiding multiple things. I noticed a lot of the times when I was busy is because I was avoiding my romantic feelings. Like, let's just say me and my ex had an argument or whatever it was, I will become extremely busy the next week. Or maybe I was honestly just stressing out about my career and my money, my income. And I just felt like I needed to do more. So now I'm so busy, I don't have time for nothing. No. I wasn't busy because I was being productive. I was busy because I'm avoiding those feelings. I'm avoiding facing what I really need to face. And this can be busy in your career or just busy in your life. If you feel like you're always running around, have to do something for somebody, it's because that's what makes you feel useful. I feel like a lot of women need to perform to feel like that they're useful, to feel worthy. And that's what I want you to rewire, okay? I want you to change that identity shift. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to hurry up and brush my teeth. Like you're rushing through life. You're always seeming busy, but that's because again, you need that to feel worthy, when honestly, the power is in being intentional. So we're gonna change that identity from always rushing, constantly reacting, and trying to do everything at once, okay? We are gonna give that completely up this year. And instead, we are gonna move with intention, and we are gonna protect our energy, and we are gonna choose alignment over urgency. When I first had my first business about 4 years ago, when I first started it, I was like a boss babe, okay? I'm doing everything and I'm making so much money. I mean, like my business is hitting 6 figures and I just feel like I am thriving, but I had so much burnout. But it's like I couldn't stop because I'm also a mom. I had to do this, I had to do that. I'm always like running around with my head cut off or like some crazy little squirrel, you know? And it's so crazy from people who know me back then to know me now. They literally be like, what do you do all day? It seems like you do absolutely nothing but live in softness. But yet you're more abundant than ever. Your income has skyrocketed. You are literally living the life of your dreams, but you're doing way less. And that's because I only take aligned action out of alignment, okay? I'm not doing 30 steps. If it doesn't move the needle in my favor, it doesn't need to be done. And that's what a lot of people's problem is. And they don't know it until they know it, like, you know, and I had that problem. I thought I had to do so many steps to become successful. But honestly, when in reality, you only need to do what moves the needle in your favor, okay? And you'll know what to do when you calm your mind, when you regulate your nervous system and your body isn't addicted to stress anymore. So you need to like rewire your entire nervous system. If you want to get into that, I have a whole Rich and Feminine Energy Master Academy course. I'll make sure to link it in the description, where I teach you how to rewire your entire nervous system to literally get you out of survival mode and into your soft girl era. Because being a soft girl isn't just about performance or what you wear or going to Pilates and drinking matcha, none of that. It's about your body feeling safe. And I used to always like brag about like, oh, I always wait, you know, last minute and then I get things done. You know what I mean? Like I work so well under pressure. And honestly, that's nothing to flex about, honestly. That is a pure example of my body being in survival mode and addicted to stress. And that's why I felt like I had to do a million things to feel productive, to feel worthy. Now, I don't need to do any of that. I know my worth. I feel worthy. I feel valuable. And I only do what needs to be done to take me to the next step. Nothing more. And so yes, my life did get better, but it didn't get better because I did more. It actually got better because I did less and I became more aligned. I'm talking about fewer commitments, more presence, and clearer routines. Shift number 4 is to move from survival mode to receiving mode. Survival mode feels productive, but it keeps you exhausted. I see so many girls online talk about they're in their soft girl era and you know, they're in their feminine energy and all of this, but yet they're always talking about they're burnt out, okay? The two can exist, okay? You cannot be soft and in your feminine era and be burnt out, because when you're soft and in your feminine era, you are in a flow of abundance and you are in that flow to receive, okay? So you are receiving constant content ideas, constant time and energy and all of that. When you are burnt out, you don't have any of that, Miss Girl, okay? So the two cannot exist together. If you are burnt out, if you don't have any ideas, if you are just struggling to be motivated, to be disciplined or any of that, that is because you are highly in your masculine energy and you are in survival mode. To be able to receive, I'm talking about to receive things from God, from the universe, to receive from a man, from friends, from anything in the world, to be able to receive and be the luckiest girl where all these opportunities just come to you blissfully, you have to understand that receiving requires safety. It requires softness and it requires trust. If you are trying to call in more money or start a business, but you don't trust yourself that you are going to run this business well, if you don't have safety in yourself and your body doesn't feel safe, you know, quitting that job and putting yourself fully into your business, and you don't feel safe relying on God and that everything's going to work out for you, then it's not. Again, it goes back to that self-trust, okay? You have to have that self-trust. You have to regulate your nervous system because your body is going to reject anything that it doesn't feel safe holding. And again, anything, money, love, anything. You could be calling in a loving partner, a beautiful marriage. But if you don't even feel safe receiving love, Miss Girl, you will never get it. Okay? That's why softness and becoming this new identity is not about changing your wardrobe, changing your hair, and drinking matcha. No. It's about doing the inner work, which is exactly why I created my Rich and Feminine Energy Master Academy, okay? It took me years to understand this. I had to get 2 mentors and work with them over a course of a couple years to completely rewire my entire nervous system, okay? And it took me a little bit longer just because I didn't realize that it was an internal thing at first. I thought it was all external. But if I would have did the identity shift way quicker, it wouldn't have took me that long. I would have been able to be who I wanted to be way quicker in my life. So for number 4, we are getting rid of that hyper independent identity, that doing everything alone, that hustling to feel worthy identity. And we are going to step into the new identity, which is comfortable receiving support, okay? Stop thinking that you have to do it all alone. I always say that you do not get a badge for doing it all. Trust me, as a business owner and a single mother, I used to always flex about I could do it all by myself. I could do it. Trust me, there's no badge. There's no badge, okay? Even if it's something like carrying a whole bunch of groceries and somebody asks you, do you need help? Yes, please. Matter of fact, I do. Yes. Even if I can do it by myself, guess what? I'm not going to. I'm not going to, because I'm so much in my feminine energy that I am receiving. I'm receiving love. I'm receiving abundance. I'm receiving help. I'm receiving it all. And guess what? I don't feel guilty about it, okay? I don't feel guilty for asking for help. Like, no, help me. And let me tell you something, that does not make you weak. That actually makes you strong, because it takes so much power for somebody who can do it all by themselves to actually sit there and ask for help instead of doing it. That actually makes you so much stronger, and there's so much power and strength in community. So get comfortable receiving, whether that is receiving help, receiving love, receiving money, even in the smallest way of receiving a compliment. Don't always shut down a compliment. Oh girl, you look so pretty today. Oh girl, no I don't. This is just, why are you shutting that down? You can't even receive a compliment, but you want to receive a healthy man in a relationship, but you want to receive a whole bunch of money in your business, and you can't even receive something so small like a compliment. No, thank you. And that's it. Like, I didn't choose to become softer because life got easier. Life got easier because I became softer. Okay, identity shift number 5 is going from reacting to regulating. You have to understand, Miss Girl, that calm is a choice that you practice. And I know in the beginning, it seems like you always have to be so defensive. You always need to over-explain yourself, and you just always feel the urge to defend yourself, especially being a woman in this world. I feel like we have no protection and we don't have anybody to defend us. So we feel like we need to always be defensive and react to every little thing that triggers us. And a lot of us develop this from a young age in our childhood, and we grow up with this and we become confrontational or defensive all the time, or over-explaining ourselves, or honestly just not knowing how to process our emotions or regulate our emotions. And we're showing up in our daily life with these emotional reactions, these spiraling thoughts, and these external triggers feel like they are controlling your life. But this new version of you is going to learn how to regulate her nervous system, okay? She's gonna pause, she's gonna breathe, and she's gonna respond with clarity. Now, this one is a hard one because it's going to take time. It takes time to regulate your nervous system, and healing and changing your identity and stepping into your softness, especially being a woman who's always been in survival mode, is not pretty, okay? Sometimes regulating your nervous system is crying in the bathroom, in the mirror, and self-soothing yourself, telling yourself it's okay. It's not always pretty. Sometimes it is ugly, but that is you teaching your body that you are safe. The moment that your body doesn't feel safe, it goes in this fight or flight mode, and that's when all these emotions arise. And a lot of these emotions are stemmed from your childhood. So it might not even be you reacting to what's going on in the moment right then and there. It can be you reacting from a past experience. And that's why it's so important to do the inner work, because once you do the inner work, you become self-aware, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, a lot of this time that I was reacting or I thought this was triggering me, it's because it was triggering a past experience that I've been through. But it is going to take time. What worked for me was definitely meditating, journaling, and EFT tapping. Make sure to check out my website. I have a whole bunch of resources on my website for the girls who just want some journal prompts or who just want to tap into the EFT tapping, the meditations. All of this stuff is included in my Rich and Feminine Energy Master Academy, because I actually teach you how to go through all of these, how to use this, whether you are trying to regulate your nervous system over self-love, over money, career, whatever it is. But I do have these specific resources just by themselves on my website as well, if you want to check those out. And let me tell you something, sister, it doesn't matter how pretty you are, doesn't matter how much you know, and it doesn't matter how much money you have. The most powerful woman in the room is the one who is regulated and emotionally intelligent. And those are my 5 identity shifts that changed my life in 90 days. And it's so crazy because I was on this journey for like a year before I really tapped into what would change my life. And when I started to do these identity shifts, my life changed. And 90 days is the perfect amount of time because you have to understand that identity shifts compound. When your behavior matches the identity, change accelerates. Immediately, you start seeing changes in your life like in a week, in 2 weeks, in 30 days. Like once you start doing these identity shifts, your life is going to change before your eyes, okay? And so this is your reminder that you don't need another soft girl routine, a new outfit, a new hairstyle. You need a new identity. Decide who you are and watch how fast your life catches up. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I wanna know which identity shift hit you the hardest and which one you will be working on for 2026. Let me know in the comments. I would love to chat with you guys, and make sure to check out all the links in the description, and I'll see you guys next time. Remember to stay classy, sassy, and a bit badassy. Love you.